Comics in general is up to be a whole new month, so of course that means I have some independent comic series starting off in the month of June. Independent to Marvel DC, here we go. And of course, I'll let you know you need to read anything prior before reading these. Coming out of Image Comics, I have Bloodletter coming out on the 18th, and I do want to mention that this is set in the same universe as Spawn, so you might want to catch up on that before picking this up. Next up is Johanna, Unclothed Aggression, coming out on the 11th. Lazarus Fallen, coming out on the 25th. News from the Fallout, coming out on the 25th. Coming out of Dynamite Entertainment, we have Thundercats Powerpuff Girls coming out on either the 4th, 11th, or the 18th. I had many sources saying different dates. I apologize for that. Now, both the Powerpuff Girls and the Thundercats have their own comic series, so you might want to catch up on that before picking this up. I'm not 100% sure that they're canon to their own story, so just have that in mind. Red Sonja Noir coming out on the 18th. Coming out of Titan Comics, we have Return to Skull Island coming out on the 4th or the 18th. And this is part of the MonsterVerse mythos, so you might want to know about that before picking this up, especially who King Kong is. Coming out of Boom Studios, we have Be Not Afraid coming out on the 4th. The Last Witch, Blood and Betrayal coming out on the 18th. And I do want to mention that this is a sequel to a series called The Last Witch, so obviously you might want to read that before picking this up. VR Troopers coming out on the 25th. I do want to mention that this is based off the live action series that came out in the 90s, so you might want to know who they are before picking this up. If you're a Power Ranger fan, I'm pretty sure you already know who these people are. Coming out of Dark Horse Comics, we have Critical Role, Vox Machina Origins, coming out on the 11th. And this is based on the television series that's on Amazon. If I'm wrong, correct me on that. The Umbrella Academy Plan B coming out on the 11th. And yes, this is a sequel to the original Umbrella Academy, so obviously you need to read that before picking this up. But the fact it says Sparrow Academy, it seems like it might be based on a TV show from here on out. Stranger Things Tales from Hawkins Part 2 coming out on the 25th. I do want to mention this is part of the Stranger Things series, and there is a comic series called Tales from Hawkins Part 1, so obviously you need to pick that up before picking this up. But it might be an anthology series, so it might not be that deep. The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, Children of the Night, coming out on the 18th. I do want to mention that there is a comic series that came out before this, so you might want to read that before picking this up. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the title, so I'll say A Term People Don't Like of the Apocalypse coming out on the 25th. Coming out of IDW Publishing, we have Star Trek Omega coming out on the 18th, and this is a one-shot. Obviously part of the Star Trek franchise, so you need to know about that before picking this up. Coming out of Afterlife Comics, we have The Dark Chronicles of Cymru coming out on the 3rd. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Coming out of Ahoy Comics, we have Toxic Team Up coming out on the 11th. I do want to mention that the Toxic Avenger does have his own mini franchise and his own comic run that's currently airing out right now. And this version of Jesus is from the comic series Second Coming, so you might want to know about that before picking this up. Coming out of Distillery, we have White House Robot Romance coming out on the 11th. And that's all the time I got for this video. Of course, more on the way. Thank you for watching.